All right. So we're gonna start standing. Just have your arms by your side. Just let your thumbs face forward here, drawing the shoulder blades back just a tad so that the thumbs are facing forward. Extend through the back of the neck. And slightly engage your legs by pressing through the outsides of your feet. Start to move your breath rounds through your nose. Just tuning into the breath, bringing some focus and attention there as we settle in for class this morning. Feel the chest and belly fully expand out as you breathe in deep through the nose. And then fully deflate out as you breathe out through the nose. Couple more breath rounds. Settling into this space here this morning. One last breath round in here. Breathing in deep through the nose. And through the mouth, let it all go. We're going to start by just sweeping our arms up overhead. Taking a nice deep inhale in to bring the palms above your head, palms facing together. And exhale, bring them back down, maybe crossing the arms in front of you. Inhale, they'll sweep the arms overhead. This time come up to your tippy toes. And then exhale, let's cross the arms the other way as you bring the arms down. Inhale, sweeping the arms up overhead, coming up to your tippy toes. Getting our shoulders warmed up here. Exhale, crossing the arms as you come down. One last time, inhale up overhead. And then switch directions with your cross here as you come back down. So then let's bring our arms down to our side. Just give yourself a little shakeout here. And we're going to start in on the mobility work. So we're going to bring our left hand to our right shoulder here. Just about at the collarbone level here. And then we're going to bring our right arm up about halfway and then bring it back down here. And as we move this arm up, we're going to just kind of start bringing it up a little bit further here until you get to your end point of that adduction movement up. And we have our hand on our shoulder here to notice like when the shoulder starts to lift up. And like once the shoulder starts to lift up, that's when you're gonna, that's basically your stopping point here once the shoulder blade starts to move up. So let's inhale up, and this time go as high as you can without feeling that shoulder blade sort of lift up your back here. And we're gonna stop there. And we're gonna engage the rest of our body here and hold. And then we're gonna flip our palm and have our palm face towards the ceiling. And then flip your palm back down, and then the thumb and palm back any amount that's available here without rotating or letting the shoulder kind of roll in. Bring the palm back up towards the sky. And then exhale, trying to keep the palm as close or out as far as you can here, bringing the palm back down to the back of the hand back down to the hip. Flip the palm back to face the hip. And then we'll bring the arm up to the side as far as you can again. And we're gonna do some wrist cars here. So let's engage our body here. And we're gonna try to not move the rest of the body. And we're gonna take our fingertips and point them towards the inside or towards the front of the mat. And then take your fingertips, point them down without cupping your hand. Take your fingertips, point them to the back without cupping your hand. And then bring them up towards the ceiling without cupping the hand. Back towards the front without cupping the hand and trying to keep the arm nice and straight and still. Fingertips down to the outside behind you. And then back up towards the sky. Switching directions here. First of all, let's bring our arm back up as high as you can here. If it's kind of settled down a little bit. And then bring the fingertips to face behind you. And then down towards the floor. Towards the front of the mat. Back up towards the ceiling. Back behind you. Down towards the floor. To the front of the mat. And back up towards the ceiling, and then let your arm down. Switching sides here, let's bring the right hand to the left shoulder this time. You can place it just on the collarbone here if that feels good. You don't want to just fully on the shoulder head. I'd rather have it more on the collarbone area. So take a moment to engage the body here. And then we're going to lift the arm up just about halfway first, so the arm's out to a T next to you. And then let it down. And then bring the arm up a little bit further this time. And then let it back down. And now you're going to bring it up as high as you can without letting the shoulder blades start to hike up your back. And you'll stop there. And then let's flip the palm towards the ceiling, keeping the arm nice and straight. Flip the palm back down and then roll the thumb back any amount that you can. Flip the palm back up towards the ceiling. And then the palm back down and the arm back down. Take an inhale in and an exhale out. Inhale, we're going to bring the arm back up as high as you can here. And then we're going to engage the body here, keeping the rest of the body still and toning the belly. And we're going to do some of the wrist cars on this side now. So we'll start by bringing the fingertips up towards the ceiling and then to the front of the mat, keeping the arm nice and still and straight. Fingertips down towards the floor, to the outside, behind you, up towards the ceiling, back to the front of the mat, down towards the floor, to the outside behind you, back up towards the ceiling. Come back to a neutral palm and then lift your arm up a little bit more if it's kind of fallen down a little bit. Engage the body, engage the shoulder. And now we're going to bring the fingertips to the back of the mat, down towards the floor, to the front of the mat, up towards the ceiling, to the back of the mat, down towards the floor, to the front of the mat, up towards the ceiling, and relax. And we'll shake it out a little bit here. So with our arms by our sides, we're going to do some shoulder blade carves. So we'll have our thumbs facing forward here. So our shoulder blades will be drawing together just a tad bit here. Because if you'll notice, a lot of times, if you just have relaxed shoulders, your shoulder heads kind of roll in a little bit, and your thumbs will start to roll in a little bit. So let's draw the shoulder blades together just a tad so that the thumbs are facing forward to start. So in our inhale, we're going to take a nice deep inhale in. And as you exhale, we're going to engage the body, pressing through the outsides of the feet and toning the belly. And we're going to lift the shoulders up towards the ears. Draw the shoulder blades together, and then draw the shoulder blades down the back as the shoulder blades remain together. Separate the shoulder blades away from each other down the back, and then keeping them away from each other, lift them up towards your ears, and the shoulder heads nice and rolled in. Shoulder blades together, down the back, keeping them together, and then separate the shoulders away from each other, rolling the shoulder heads in. Bring the shoulders up towards the ears, keeping them nice and separated. And then the shoulder blades together. Switching directions here, we're going to separate the shoulder blades, keeping them up towards our ears. And then keeping them separated, draw them down the back. Keep everything nice and engaged, and then draw the shoulder blades together. And then bring them up the back as they remain together. And then draw the shoulder blades away from each other as they're up by your ears, and then down the back. And then draw the shoulder blades together. Up the back one last time. And then release and shake it out a little bit. So we've got some shoulder blade cards done. Now we'll do some actual shoulder rotation cards. So we'll start with our right hand. So take your left hand onto your hip. And we'll do the palm facing towards the hip again here with the thumb facing forward. So we'll engage our body here. We're gonna lift that right arm up in front of you. As far as you can without letting the shoulder blade draw up the back. Turn the palm out once you've arrived there, and then reach behind you as far as you can and extend back as far as you can, rotating your palm, and then bring the arm down, continuing to rotate the thumb back so that once you arrive, the hand is facing out. So the pinky edge of your finger is, pinky edge of your hand is facing forward. Lifting back, we're gonna reach back as far as you can go. And once you've arrived there, then start to turn the palm out as you reach the arm up overhead. So the palm is facing in by the time you arrive at the top, and then back down in front of you. One more time, we're gonna lift the shoulder in front of you and up, coming to the end point here. And once you arrive at your end point, flip the palm to face out. And start to rotate the hand behind you, extending back as far as you can go. Really reaching back, and then continue to turn the thumb behind you as you bring the palm down towards your side, palm facing out. Reach that palm and hand behind you as far as you can go. Once you've arrived at your end point, start to flip the palm around as you bring it up overhead, and then back down and in front of you. Nice work. Switching sides, let's bring the left hand to the left hip. Or sorry, right hand to the right hip. Left hand goes down by the side. Take a moment to engage. The belly should be toned here, and then try to keep the rest of the body still as you reach the left arm up overhead. Once you find your end point, turn the palm to face out. And then reach, sweeping the arm around, reach behind you, extending back as far as you can as you continue to rotate the palm and the thumb backwards so that once you arrive back at your hip, your palm is facing out. Reach the palm back behind you as far as you can go. Flip it around as you reach the arm up overhead, rotating and sweeping up. And then let the palm back down in front of you. One more time, we're gonna lift the palm up in front of you. Once you find your end point, turn that palm around and start to reach behind you as you sweep the arm behind you, continuing to rotate that palm around and thumb back as you come down to the end point. Reach the palm and thumb back as far as you can go. Turn the palm out once you've arrived at your end point and start to sweep the arm up overhead. Bringing the palm to face, or sorry, palm overhead, and then sweep the arm back down in front of you, arriving with your palm by your side. Go ahead and shake it out a little bit. And then we're gonna make our way to a wall. It doesn't have to be much, you just need enough room for like a hand here. So it can be like a door frame or something like that. Like your door frame there is perfect, Mo. Yeah, great. So we're gonna start by just bringing your hand to the wall here and then start to straighten it out any amount. So we've got our left hand on the wall to start. And start to straighten it out any amount that you can here, walking your feet closer to the wall. But notice like if your shoulder blade is starting to hike up your back a little bit. And if that's the case, then that's your end point. We wanna keep the shoulder blade kind of where it's at. So you'll probably be more along this sort of position here. So once you've arrived there, let's bring our right hand to our right hip. Take an inhale in and an exhale out. And then on your next inhale, start to pull the hand away from the wall and see how much further you can get away from the wall. If you've got like a couple inches, then we're gonna walk it in just a little bit more here. Keep the elbow nice and straight. And you're gonna want your feet about hips width distance apart for this one. So we're gonna do some pails and rails on the wall here. And since we don't use our adductors and abductors quite as much on our shoulders here, don't go up to 100% effort on this. I would say stick to about like max 70, 80% effort on this. So we'll take an inhale in, engaging the body, engaging the belly, and then start to press the hand into the wall. Starting at about a 50% effort here. And then if you want, you can start to ramp it up to about 60% effort as you press in. Keep the rest of the body engaged. We're gonna hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release your pressure into the wall and start to pull the hand away from the wall up towards your head a little bit more. And once you've found your end range there, keeping the arm nice and straight, we're gonna hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Place the hand back on the wall, maybe step a half a step closer. And then we'll take an inhale in and engage, and then press the hand into the wall, starting out maybe a 60% effort. Keeping the belly nice and engaged, pressing through the outsides of the feet. We're gonna hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then pull the hand away, maybe just even if it's just an inch. Keeping the arm nice and straight here and holding it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the arm down. And then we'll switch sides here. So the right hand or the left hand goes to the left hip. Bring the hand to the wall, the right hand to the wall. And then start to walk your feet closer to the wall as you walk your hand up the wall. We want the feet about hips width distance apart here. And again, we're going to engage the belly here. And then first, before we start, we're going to first lift the hand off the wall here. And if you've got like 4 or 5 inches that you're lifting off that you can take away from the wall, walk another like half a step in or so. And then place the hand into the wall. And again, this time, like don't go full bore 100% effort on this one. Stay at about 70% max or 80% max. And we'll take an inhale in. We're going to start to press the hand into the wall, starting at about a 50% effort or so. And then ramp it up to maybe 60. Once you've found a good point, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then start to pull the hand away from the wall, keeping the shoulder blade down the back as much as you can here and holding it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Place the hand back on the wall, pressing the hand into the wall, this time with about a 60% effort, ramping up to 70, holding it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull the hand away from the wall, keeping the arm nice and straight, the elbow nice and straight. Holding it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then release the arm down towards your side, sort of shaking it out a little bit between sides. Switching back to the other side here, we're going to bring that left hand back up to the wall, sort of coming up to that end range. And get a nice, hips width stance with your feet here. Bringing the hand to the hip on the other side, so your right hand is at your hip. And from here, what we're going to do, so we want to keep our elbow nice and straight here. So the key here is a nice straight elbow so that we're working just the shoulder. So we're going to do some lift off. So on our inhale, we're going to lift the hand away. Exhale, bring the hand back down to the wall. Inhale, keeping everything engaged, lift it away, and then exhale it back down. Inhale, we're gonna lift it away and hold for an exhale. Take an inhale in, and then exhale the hand back to the wall. This time we're gonna lift away and we're gonna hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Place the hand back on the wall, walk away a little bit, and then bring the arm down. Switching to the other side, we're gonna bring that right hand to the wall, left hand to the left hip, walk it up the wall as far as you can, keeping the shoulder blade down the back. Again, feet about hips width distance apart here. Take an inhale in to engage the body and exhale out, keeping everything engaged. Inhale, you're gonna lift the hand away. Exhale, let the hand back to the wall. Inhale, let's lift it away. Exhale, hand back to the wall. Inhale, we're gonna lift away and we're gonna hold for a breath round. So exhale here, keeping it lifted away, elbows nice and straight. Exhale, back to the wall. Inhale, we're gonna lift away, elbows nice and straight here. And this time we're gonna hold for a few breath rounds, holding it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Place the hand back down on the wall. And then walk the feet away. And then slowly let the arms back down, shaking them out a little bit. And we're gonna make our way to a tabletop position. So our hands are spread, our hands and our fingers are spread out nice and wide here. Shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees. We're gonna do some slow cat-cows here to start. So we're gonna segment the body or segment the spine here as we move up and down. So come to a neutral spine. And we're gonna start with our tailbone. So start by lifting the tailbone up towards the sky. And then slowly moving up the back. Let's drop the low belly down, and the upper belly, and then the lower ribs, and finally letting the upper chest drop down towards the mat, and finally bringing your chin up last. Keeping the chin up, we're gonna start with our tailbone again. So tuck the tailbone in first, and then start to round the low back, the mid back, the upper back, and finally tuck the chin in last. Starting again at the tailbone, let's start to lift the tailbone up so our chin is still tucked here. And then drop the belly down, the low ribs, the upper ribs, and then finally lifting the chin up. And then starting to the tailbone again, tuck the tailbone down, rounding the low back, rounding the mid back, and finally tucking the chin in. This time we're going to start at our chin and our head. So let's start by lifting the chin up and then drop the chest down, the low ribs, and then the belly. And then finally, last, you bring the tailbone up. Again, starting at the head, we're going to tuck the chin in, round the upper back, round the mid back, round the lower back, and then finally tuck the tailbone in. So let's make our way now to our bellies. And we're going to start with our arms by our side here with our thumb side facing down. So your palms are going to be facing in towards your hips, and the thumbs are going to be down on the mat. The thumb and probably the inside of the index finger as well. I mean, you can do that, or you can just have the thumbs on the outside edge there. So we're gonna start by, of course, engaging the body, press through the tops of the feet and engage the belly. And then we're gonna extend the arms back and up as high as you can go. And then exhale it down. Inhale, you're gonna lift the hands up, extending up as high as you can go. Palms are still facing together here. and then exhale it down. Inhale, you're gonna bring them up, and this time we're gonna hold and draw the shoulder blades together as you're holding here. And you're gonna hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the thumbs back down. And one more time with that hold, we're gonna lift up, press through the tops of your feet, engage the belly, lift up as high as you can go into your extension, and then pull the shoulder blades together, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release down. So if you want to come up for just a second, I'm going to show you what we're going to do next. We're going to be on our bellies again here, but we'll be adding a few more movements to that sort of sequence. So we'll start with our arms down by our side here like this, and you'll extend back as far as you can go like we did. And then we're going to come out to a T. I need to move forward here so I can actually do that. With our thumbs still facing down. And then we're going to come to a cactus shape, and you're going to turn your palms to face down towards the floor. And we'll come back to a T with our thumbs facing down. Back to extension with our palms facing together. And then we're going to bend the elbows so that the palms come up towards the sky and then above our low back or mid back. We'll do that a few times, okay? Cool. So let's make our way down to the mat here. I'll do the first one together with you, and then I'll come and take a look and make sure things are looking good for you. So let's press through the tops of the feet, engage the belly, and we're gonna lift and extend the arms back behind you as far as you can go, pulling the shoulder blades together. Then bring the arms out to a T, keeping them nice and hovered next to you here, extending up. And then we're gonna bend the elbows, turning the palms to face the floor into our cactus shape position. Come back to the T, and then extend the arms up and back behind you, and then bend the elbows, bringing the palms towards the sky and stacking the hands on top of each other, trying to keep them hovered over the low back. Let's extend back out, and then bring the palms down to the floor. One more time here. Let's go ahead and engage the body. And then lift the palms up as high as you can back behind you. Nice, pull the shoulder blades together. There you go, nice, Mo. And then bring the arms out to a T with the thumb side still facing down. Bend the elbows and turn the palms to face the floor with a cactus shape position. Nice, Mo. And then back out to the T with the thumb side facing down, rotating the palms back behind you. Bring the arms back behind you and extend up, pulling the palms together, lift up, bringing the shoulder blades together, and then bend the elbows, face the palms towards the sky, and stack them over your low back and hold for a breath around. Nice work, and then extend back and up behind you, and then the palms down, the hands down. All right, let's do it one more time for good measure here. I'll do it with you again. Nice work, Mo. And then on your inhale, you're gonna press through the tops of the feet, engage the belly, and exhale out. Then inhale, we'll lift the arms up and back behind you as high as you can go, drawing the shoulder blades together. Bring them out to a T with your thumb side facing down. Bend the elbows, palms facing towards the floor, and we're gonna hold here for a breath round. Exhale out, nice big inhale in. And then on your next exhale out, come to the T shape again. And then lift the arms up and back behind you as high as you can go, drawing the shoulder blades together. And then bend the elbows, bringing the palms to face the sky, hovering the hands over the low back or mid back, whatever is available to you. Holding here, really drawing the shoulder blades together. If you have to bring the hands down to the back, that's totally fine. But try to hover them up, keeping that effort and engagement, holding for 3, 2, 1. Extend the arms back behind you and up. And then bring the palms down towards the floor right next to your hips. Nice work. Take an inhale in, and an exhale out, and then press your way up to a seat. Oh, I didn't. Just checking the time. All right. So from our seat here, just going to do a little bit more shoulder blade work. So your palms can be just on your knees here if you want. Get a nice long and extended spine. And we're not going to go through the full car this time with our shoulders. We're going to do just lifts and depressions and then protraction and retraction. But we're going to hold in both of those for a little bit of time. So inhale, let's get a nice neutral shoulder here. So you want your shoulders to kind of just be coming straight out from the side here. So you're drawing the shoulder blades in together a little bit, but not too much. Oh, you look good. So inhale, we're gonna lift the shoulders up towards the ears as high as you can go, trying to keep that same position with your shoulder blades. And then draw them down the back, trying to keep that same amount protracted and retracted. Lift them up towards the ears, and we're gonna hold here, really engage the belly here, holding it for 3, 2, 1, and bring the shoulder blades down the back as far as you can go, neutral between the protraction and the retraction, and we'll hold here, really trying to pull your elbows down towards the mat. Holding it here for 3, 2, 1. Lift back up one more time, up towards the ears. Holding it here for 3, 2, 1. And then down the back as far as you can go. Think about just trying to pull your elbows down towards the mat. Holding it here for 3, 2, 1. And then bring them up about halfway, coming back to a neutral position. So that's lifting and depressing work that we're going to do there. And now we'll do some protraction and retraction. So drawing the shoulder blades together and away from each other. So let's start by just keeping the shoulders. So again, here we're going to try to just keep the shoulders level and just be trying to pull the shoulder blades back and forward. So we'll start by retracting. So pull the shoulder blades together as far as they can go. Keep that belly tone. Don't let it pop out. And then draw the shoulder blades away from each other, rounding the shoulder heads into each other. Pull the shoulder blades back towards each other. And then pull them away from each other, rounding the shoulder heads in towards each other. Now I'll hold them in those positions for a little while. So let's pull the shoulder blades together and really make all the effort that you can to hold them in together, and hold it here for 3, 2, 1. Pull the shoulder blades away from each other, rounding the shoulder heads in towards each other. Try to keep the chin up, reaching through the back of the head, holding for 3, 2, 1. Shoulder blades come in together, pulling them in nice and close, holding it here for 3, 2, 1. And then draw the shoulder blades away from each other one last time, pulling them together, rolling the shoulder heads towards each other, and hold it here for 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and release. Roll out the shoulders a little bit. And then we're going to do a little bit of neck work. So just follow along with me. I'm going to do this. I'm not going to mirror you on this one because it gets a little bit difficult. Plus your head's going to be down most of the time anyway. So you won't have to watch me on this one. So we're going to start by lifting our head up, reaching through the top of the skull here, really extending the spine. And then exhale, on your next exhale, let's bring our chin towards the sternum. So keeping everything still here, as we always do, we're going to start doing some segmented rolls. So we're going to start by going to the right and try to brush your right collarbone as you turn your gaze to the right and over your right shoulder as far as you can go. Now turn your right ear to your right shoulder, lifting the chin up a bit. Once you've arrived here, start to roll the head behind you, bringing the gaze up overhead until you come halfway so that your head is hanging back over your spine. Roll off to the left, bringing the left ear to the left shoulder. And then turn your gaze over your left shoulder, bringing your chin down. And then as you come back to center, try to bring the chin down and brushing or coming close to brushing the left collarbone, arriving back with the chin tucked. Go off to the right, brushing the right collarbone with the chin, bringing the gaze over the right shoulder as though you're trying to look behind you. Bring the right ear towards the right shoulder as you turn your chin up. Roll the head back, bringing the gaze overhead, and then bring the left shoulder or ear to the left shoulder. Turn the gaze over the left shoulder. And then start to bring the chin down in front of you, brushing the left collarbone with your chin. Take a nice deep inhale in here. And exhale out. Switching directions, we're going to start to look over our left shoulder, keeping the chin nice and tucked and brushing that left collarbone. Turn the left shoulder to face the ear, or sorry, the left ear to face the left shoulder as you bring your chin up. And then bring the head back behind you as your gaze goes overhead. And transition to the right side, bringing the right ear towards the right shoulder. Turn your gaze over your right shoulder. And then start to tuck the chin down as you brush the right collarbone, bringing the head back to center. Turn your gaze off to the left as you brush your left collarbone. Turn that left ear towards the left shoulder. And then start to bring the head back behind you and the gaze up. And then the right ear to the right shoulder. Turn your gaze over to the right, over your right shoulder. And then bring your chin down, brushing the right collarbone as you come back to center, bringing the chin to the sternum. Nice deep inhale in. And exhale out. Go ahead and bring your head back up. And so those rolls are really good to do all in just like a motion like that, but also if like you found there was any spot that was like a sticking point that was a little bit more sore than the others, that would be a spot to work on there during your day on your own or anything like that. So if like that right side for you right there is really, really tight, you can just bring that left ear to the shoulder. And as you're doing so, so it's like you're trying to get counter pressure by pulling your right shoulder blade down your back. Kind of like what we were doing to begin with, where I was like, try to bring your elbows to the floor. And then you can turn off and you should feel some more stretch there as you're starting to draw the shoulder blades down the back. Does that make sense? Cool. All right. So let's make our way to our backs now. Feet are going to be on the floor, so knees are bent. We'll have our arms by our sides here, palms facing in towards the hips, so the pinky edge of the hands are on the ground. And we're going to just lift our arms up overhead, bringing the thumb side to the ground behind you, or I guess overhead, and then lift them back up. Slowly bringing the hands back down, pinky edge to the mat. So now we're going to start by pressing into the pinky edges of our hands. Pressing in with about 50% effort, 60. Holding it for 3, 2, 1. And now we'll lift the arms up, bringing them up overhead and bring the thumb side down to the floor or to a cat if you have a cat in your way. Cat wants to play right now. And then we're going to press the thumb side of the hand into the mat above your head or the floor above your head, holding it here for 3, 2, 1. Bring the arms back up overhead. And then we're going to bring bend the elbows in, bringing the elbows right next to the ribs. Coming to our little robot arms here. So fingers are facing towards the ceiling. And similar to our cat-cow, we're going to take the entire inhale and exhale to roll up our spine here, coming into a bridge pose. So starting with our tailbone, we're going to start to lift the tailbone up towards the sky and start to peel the low back up off the ground, rolling up the vertebrae here, coming into the mid back, upper back, and finally, maybe your chin tucks in a little bit more so you come further up the upper back. And then exhale, start to bring the upper back down, the mid back, lower back, and finally the tailbone. And then turn the tailbone and yeah. So now we'll come back up and start to lift the tailbone up towards the sky, feeling the low back up, the mid back, upper back. And finally, maybe your chin tucks in towards your chest. Maybe it doesn't, depending on your mobility. And then start to lower down, taking that entire exhale to lower down. Upper back, mid back, low back. Finally, the tailbone. Last. Let's pull both knees into our chest here, giving yourself a nice little hug. And we're going to let our legs go out long. Arms by your side, palms facing up. For your final resting pose of Shavasana. Let your eyes flutter shut here and close. Maybe draw your shoulder blades down your back. And just let everything melt into the mat. And just breathe and rest. Start to notice your breath again here. Make some small movements and then bend one knee at a time and roll up to your favorite side, making your way up to a seat. Once you've arrived, just bring some attention to your shoulders. See how they feel. Roll them out a little bit. And bring your hands to heart center. Thanks for showing up this morning, sharing the practice, getting some mobility work done. You have a wonderful Tuesday. Namaste.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for coming. Sorry for the snafus this morning.
No worries. Couple of parts there were actually like pretty hard, right?
Yeah,
When you're on your back. And
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, when you're on your stomach like that.